It has been absolutely forever since I've done any walkthrough solves, so let's fix that. Okay, here is our first scramble. Let's look at white and yellow. Neither one is fantastic here, but let's see what is better. Okay, I'm gonna do yellow here because I've got these four, and it is easy enough to solve these two on opposites and then solve these two where they need to go. And I can track this pair while I do it. So I'd start off by moving over the edge to right here and this edge to right here. So now when I do RF, that solves these two on opposites, and these two are on their correct sides, and this pair is right here. So then I go D2, R, F2, and I have my pair. Let's solve that into this slot. And the next good option is this one. This pair right here. And I notice here that I have no oriented edges. So if I just solve this pair without doing anything to fix that, I'm going to get a dot OLL. Normally, I would cube rotate this way so I can use R moves to solve this pair, but in this case, I want to rotate this way so it's easier to do a sledgehammer, and that keeps me from getting a dot OLL. Then we have this OLL case, and instead of doing like that alg, I just do that into soon, and then I get an A perm. Okay, so I'm gonna do white here, and this makes a pretty nice first pair. So the first thing I'm going to do is solve this while moving this to right here, like that. So I've got these two solved relative to each other, and then I can finish off this with just R and D moves. And when I do this R prime, first I'm going to do a U so that this becomes an easier pair, and I can just connect them and insert. This pair becomes easy. Now this is a rough situation. This is one of the worst pairs, I think, but you can solve it without cube rotating still. I think I'd do something like this. That works out pretty well. And then solve that pair. OLL, and I'm going to get some sort of edge PLL. And it's a U perm. So I'm going to do yellow here, and I'm going to preserve this pair, which will be a really nice first pair into the back left nonetheless. So if I solve this, then it's going to be very easy to put this red and this orange in the right place relative to it by doing that. And then I just do D prime, solve that. And I could go straight into this, but that's probably not something I would have seen at full speed. So I'm going to go through with it as if I was just going with what I had tracked. So I'd solve that, and that's easy to fix afterwards. And then here, just looking at this at full speed, what would be best so I don't have to cube rotate as much? If I cube rotate first and solve this, then that's the only cube rotation I have to do for the rest of the solve, but I am going to have to do a fix later to avoid getting a dot OLL. So now I have two options here I could do, and then do the alg that gives me all my edges from here. But what I'd probably do is that, and then just go straight into a sledgehammer. Pretty nice OLL and a T perm. Looks like it's pretty nice on both colors again, but I think I'm going to do white here, and this will be my first pair into the back left. So the first thing I'm going to do is B2R to solve that relative to this green, and then that will move this up here, and I can solve that easily. And that puts this in the perfect position. And then, easy first pair. This seems like a tough position. Both of these pairs are really bad. Honestly, our best option here might be to do this advanced F2L. And then, I guess I'd probably just do this one at a time. I'd go green and orange first. And luckily enough, that set me up well. OLL and an R perm. Okay, another easy yellow, and I'm tracking this pair. It'll just be right here. So first thing, move this over to right here so that I can solve this across from it, and then solve this orange. D prime F2 finishes the cross and saves me this. And I could do this or this, but this is probably better because it gets rid of the back slot, and I think it'll set up this pair to just be RU R prime. Yes, it did. So I solved that, and then instead of doing U2 lefty sledge, I'd probably just do that, just because the finger tricks are easier, and it gave me that easy OLL and a GC perm. Yeah, this will work really well. And I'll have another really good pair into the back left. So first thing is that this edge actually belongs right here. So if I do a D prime to solve this, that's not helping me because then that would belong here. But what I can do is D prime. On my way to solve this one, I do R prime, B prime, and then solve this, and it moves over the blue. I can do that. Now I tracked this, but this appeared and I didn't see that. I'll just go ahead with this because that will be easy to fix, but actually I can do that without cube rotating. I can do this without cube rotating. And then here, I'm going to do this and insert this edge into there so that I get a cross OLL, but actually I get a winter variation case into a JA perm. Let's do white here. This is going to be a little bit, like it's not ideal, but I can make it work and it gives me a free pair. If I start by doing this to move over this and that, solve this and then red like that, D prime F, and I could just do L2 or do that. That's probably the better move, and just go straight into that, and then this. And then, whichever one of these I do, it will then set up the next one to be a free pair. Just like that. Easy OLL into a U perm. What's my first pair going to be here? Okay, I'm going to save this blue and orange as my first pair. I will have to cube rotate, but then it will go into the back left. So this and this are already set up to be solved relative to that, so I just do that. Then D, save this from going to the bottom layer with U, D2, cube rotate and solve that. Then I'd probably see that first, and that will transition really well into that. Transition like that. And then here, in order to save my EO, instead of doing that, I just cube rotate and solve like that. I get EO, and this gives me a COLL case, and I'm going to have a clockwise U perm in the front when I do that. Just like that. Okay, very easy white that sets up this pair into the back left very well. Start out by solving this and this on opposites. D2 aligns those, and I can solve that and this, and go straight into this pair. Right here. This pair. And then, in order to get EO here, I might even do something like that. Let's see. Anyway, actually in a full speed solve, I'd probably just go with that. OLL, and I know this isn't the best alg, but dot OLLs are rare enough for me that that's fine. And then a V perm. So that one was not the cleanest solve, but it worked out okay. What should I do here? This one's a little bit trickier for me. let's just do the intuitive thing. Start off with those two. DL, DR2 solves that. Good first pair is probably that. Into that, which connects that. And then from here, I could do that, but I'd rather get my EO by cube rotating, doing a sledgehammer, solving that. I get a pi case and a J perm. So there we go. I hope you learned from this. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys later.